Moving on now to we have
Best athlete.
best athletes. We have our top 10. This is the only category in which we had 10 because you can't reduce.
No,
to 5
we were having
athletes,
trouble.
yeah.
I had trouble reducing it to 10.
Exactly, but you're number one.
My number one is Roger Federer.
Okay.
There was really only two people there's only two legitimate arguments, I think, for this. It's Tiger or it's Federer. And, I mean, the arguments are, in the decade, Federer had 15 Grand Slams, Tiger had 12. Mm-hmm. Federer had a legitimate top 10 all-time opponent rival, which he had trouble with, admittedly, especially at the French. In Rafael Nadal, I don't think Tiger had one. I don't put Mickelson at that level. Right. Garcia never won a major. Mm. He had 2 years where he went 100. I want to make sure I have these numbers right because they're mind-boggling. 179 and 5, 173 and 9 over 2 years.
Wow. And 237 straight weeks in number one. That's that's 4 years. Over 4 years. Yeah.
So I believe based on that dominance, he did win all four. He did eventually win all four. Mm-hmm. He won 6 straight Wimbledons, 5 straight Wimbledons?
6. He won 5 and 6
and then he lost to Nadal in 98, 2008 in the greatest match ever played, and then he won it again in 09 against Roddick. And, I mean, I think this is enough to slightly, and not by a major portion, to slightly overtake Woods as the best athlete of the decade.
Because now with Tiger, the reason why I have him as number one, like I said, the dominance that he had in the early part of the decade. And I think the field started to close in on him a little bit, just a little bit. But, you know, the thing with him, 64 world championships, wins all over the world, 56 PGA titles, the most by any player in golf in the history of the PGA Tour, and 12 major championships in the decade. I mean, that golf, you're playing against the field, you know, and you're playing against so many players that a player could get hot at any tournament. You know, that's the thing. 4 days, like you never know.
Even look at a guy like Y.E. Yang who beat him in the PGA this year.
That's the thing, and the thing is that he never the only thing he never gave up a lead as well, pretty much as well. Like when he was leading in a major, Tiger, he closed it out, except for Y.E. Yang. Yeah, which, you know, but that's what I'm saying, like, just the dominance, and no one dominated the sport like since Jack Nicklaus, pretty much, you know, with what Tiger Woods done and winning all those PGA titles. And remember, too, who's the next closest active PGA title holder? You know, I don't even know. I think Phil Mickelson has over 30, but that's. But
I mean, we're arguing honestly, actually different points for the same overall. I mean, to me, you have Nadal, who was an all-time great, which gave Federer the competition and pushed him to the best. And Tiger got pushed in individual tournaments in the 2000. What was it? The one against Bob May. I forget it. I think it was the PGA.
PGA.
The Rocco Mediate 91 hole extravaganza in 2008. That pushed him to greatness, but he didn't have the continuous push.
Intimidated the entire tour.
I agree.
That's the thing. Yeah. Federer had intimidation, but he didn't intimidate everybody.
I am not a Tim Tebow fan. I'm not. Look at Tebow's numbers. 3 Heisman top 5s, including winning it in 07. He had 84, I want to make sure, 84 touchdowns passing, 56 rushing, breaking Herschel Walker's record. And
he's not even a running back.
And he's not a running back.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby Bowden, you know, the coach of Florida State, one of his biggest rivals, compared him to Bronco Nagurski.
Woo!
I mean,
that's right.
Nobody gets. I mean, Bronco Nagurski, for those who don't know, was a football player in the 1920s and 30s, considered the biggest monster of the first 50 years of football.
To me, still the best. Him and Jim Thorpe are the best.
Athlete,
yeah.
And I mean, you know, is he going to be a great pro? Probably not. But I'm saying as what he dominated this era of college football. Now, yes, a part of it was because ESPN made him the Shane Battier of the last part of the decade, where he could do no wrong, and it became annoying. And it became more than it needed to be. But if you put that aside, plus, I mean, his stats are sensational. He was a leader, he was a winner, and he went out last night with 450 yards passing and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, right. And to show the NFL scouts that
there is something to it. He's not just
right. And
hype.
After Lance Armstrong, which enough said, 6 Tour de France.
Right. Plus he comes back and lands third after taking 4 years off. I have him at number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, I have them tied. And the reason why I have them tied, Peyton Manning still had around 11,000 more yards than Tom Brady in a decade. Around 90 more touchdown passes than Tom Brady in a decade. And also, too, Peyton Manning won his Super Bowl. And also, as well, Peyton Manning has had victories over Tom Brady and kind of turned the tide a little bit, the Colts franchise over the last couple of years. And Peyton Manning, to me, is the greatest quarterback of all time. And you have to look at statistically, his decade was the best ever from a quarterback perspective. So Brady did win those rings and didn't have the talent around him until, Randy Moss and Wes Welker. But still, Manning, that's why I tied him with Brady.